Hey there, Mike Prill here from the Digital Transformation Project team, and I want to go over vetting for an event. So this was a video made by request, and evidently there's been some issues with vetting recently, and there's been some feedback that it's not very efficient. And so we've made some changes that I want to highlight. And so here I have a test event in the Seattle area. Got room for 4 people. Got a couple prereqs, and then I've got 3 people that have signed up so far. If I can find it, there we go. So just by clicking into this tab, we're going to see that we go into what's called the Editable Grid. So it just means that, like it sounds like, I can edit things that are in this grid, and so I can go vet these people and then come back and mark them as vetted and write notes if they're not vetted, things like that. The feedback was that this was a slow process, and so we've done a couple things to increase that. One is we've added the metro column, because another piece of feedback was that people were accidentally signing up for the wrong event, not intending to, in this case, go from Colorado to Seattle. And so this helps alert the person doing the vetting that somebody from out of state might be coming in. And so sometimes that helps with having to figure out lodging. In some cases, you might want to send an email to the people that are coming from out of state just to double check that they are signed up for the correct event, because that's evidently happening more often than I would have thought. And from the editable grid, though, you can't really do anything. And so what we want to do instead is we want to go to the associated view, which is this button over here on the right. And inside the associated view, now we have a lot more options. So as we select things, if we want to send this person an email, for example, we would select it, hit email, and just send that note. Right? The other thing we can do is we have a toggle ability. This show as is a toggle, so we can go back and forth between the editable grid or the read-only grid. And if we go into the read-only grid, now these things all become hyperlinks, and that's what we want. So for vetting purposes, with the hyperlinks turned on in read-only mode, now we can go in and I can click on people's contact records if I want to see their background check status. Or like trainings that they've done, things like that. In-person events is where you'd go. If you have a prereq that's an in-person event, you'd have to go look at their contact record. If you want to look at their cornerstone transcripts, we've got a hyperlink for that now. So all the way on the far right, the COD contact link. If you click that, you're going to go right to this person's transcript record in Cornerstone. So all of the online courses will be here, and then any in-person event class that was done prior to November of 2018 would also be in here. And one quick tip, a couple quick tips actually, is when you're looking at someone's completed transcripts, you don't have to scroll and try to read and scroll and read, and meanwhile they've got a million pages of stuff. Instead, you can just use this search bar and look for anything in the title. So if I want to look for this person's ICS 300, for example, there it is. There's 400. You get the idea. So use this to your advantage so you're not having to scroll around everywhere. The other thing I'll show you is if it's been a while since you've logged into Cornerstone, then the first time you hit this link, it's going to fail. So if you see this fail message, that's fine. It's just basically, it actually logged me in the background. So now when I click the button again, it's going to be fine. So that's it for this video. Hopefully this makes things a little bit easier. And by the way, the addition of these columns came in as part of some feedback that we received. So please make sure that if you find that something is a little bit difficult for you, or you think that we can save some time by adding in some other fields that you know exist somewhere, like the contact records as an example, send me an email. Just let me know what you think. I can't guarantee anything, but we're always looking for good ideas that will help make your guys' lives easier through the use of technology. So other than that, stay tuned for the next videos.